G'day, Tony Lander with you again, and this is part 4 of the trailer loading sequence. But just before we get started, we'll do a recap of part 3. Hi, Tony Lander with you again. This is part 3 of the trailer loading session with the Black Stallion, and we'll see some interesting parts in this session. This is where he put up a bit more pushy, a bit more I ain't going in, and he actually got to one point, well, almost two. One point where he really came to attack me, though I've got to admit he didn't follow through and I got him off me, and then he had another little go a bit later on. But in the end we got to the point where it was nice. He went on really good, calm, came off really nice.
Just preparing the trailer, but Schwarzi can't wait. Let me in. Short interview asking what the black one thinks about our new session. What do you think?
What do I think that the black one thinks about our new session? I think the black one thinks he wants to go in.
What is your plan?
My plan is just to let him go in.
Okay, then we move out of the way. Let's see how his first go goes.
So you can see here as he starts to go in, his little legs are shaking a little bit and he's definitely apprehensive, but still he's interested enough to go in and polite enough to be compliant to go in, and he gets in there.
This is
all
what
good.
we thought last time.
So it looks like it's an easy start. So we'll just ask him back out again, and this really is a case of approach and retreat. Put him on, put him off, put him on, put him off, because we're in no big hurry right here.
But last time we had it as well, that he went on super good, and then he switched the flip, or switched the button, however you say it, and then he got the idea that he doesn't want to get in anymore.
So back in again. Everything looks pretty cool.
Let's have a look.
Relaxed. Check him out inside. He's just looking around, taking his time. But he is not fully, we just say, not fully courageous in there. He's not really set yet. We haven't done up the bum bar or the ramp yet. And again, just to recap, that he's already been on a 4-hour trip to get to his new place when we bought him, and then he's been on a 10-hour trip to get up to where we are in the Baltic Sea. And the whole point is that we're preparing him again to go on another long trip back down to the south of Germany next week. So it's about taking our time, taking his time, on and off, and getting it better and better to where he's more courageous. He's really taking it calmly, and everything is good. So now we'll put the bum bar in and just see how he reacts to this. Can he handle the noise, the bumping, and if he pushes back on there, can he also handle that and go forward again? So I ask him back a little bit here just to get him to feel the bum bar, so he pushes back and goes directly forward. Really nice.
So why is he so good? Can you give a little explanation?
Because he's rapport. He's the new rapport.
Now I'll try just lifting up the ramp and see how he goes. He got pretty apprehensive there, he started to move a bit. We'll just go in the front and have a look how he looks.
Hello, darling. Have a look.
So it doesn't hurt to give them a bit of feed in there, and an apple, maybe even put him in and let him eat in there over time while his friend Ludwig runs around in the round yard. So he came off nice and steady, then got a panic at the end, jump forward, and we'll see how he goes back on again after the panic attack. Now he's a bit more apprehensive, but not shaking the legs as much, walking on. And I quite like it if they have a bit of a look on the way in. They don't have to go fully in a big rush or anything. If they investigate, and then if they come back out, this is also okay. It's no problem. It's better that he knows that he can come out and not feel like he's super trapped or get into a big panic and a big fight. So now he looks a little bit for like, how can I not go on there? But then he decides that it's okay. Again, part way in and stop. This is also okay, because we can ask him a little bit further. And none of this is a problem. We just work with the horse where they're at. take the time, approach and retreat, let him stand in there, feel the bum bar, put it up, put it down. Like, you almost can't do too much of this. It's really worth taking the time. And of course, preparing, not like we did the first time we travelled him, because we had to get out of the stable that he was in, but prepare them. This time we started 2 weeks before, and there's been a big gap between the trailer loading number 3 and this trailer loading, and there's been quite some changes for the black. Like, he was a stallion in part 3 and now he's a gelding, so he's been gelded now for about a bit more than 6 months maybe. So he's calmed down a lot, and he's got relaxed, and he's put on some weight after he lost quite a bit of weight, and we've done a little bit of training with him, not a huge amount, but enough to get him courageous, compliant, calm, attentive, and a bit of maintaining as well.
I go in the front again.
So put the ramp back up again. Just check out what he looks like inside. So his eye is still telling us he's a little bit apprehensive.
So we prepare for our long trip, and because we wanted to start the preparation early enough, we started about 3 weeks before the big transport is, so that they can spend every day a little bit time in the trailer. And to make the time a bit nicer, they get their heart feed, their daily heart feed in here. So he's still a bit apprehensive and a bit worried, but considering how little trailer loading training he had yet, and just these long trips.
So now we just put in a few times in and out and a little bit faster speed, so you don't have to sit here through the whole slow experience, but just to realise that it does take time, and you really need to take the time that it's going to take for the horse to handle it. At times leaving the bum bar open, the ramp open, see if he'll stay in, checking out how he's going. If he comes out, will he also stop and go back in if we ask? This was really nice. So eventually we want to be able to ask him out halfway and push him back in again, but this right now is not happening. But this was a nice one, what he did there, just came back a little bit, stopped, and then went back in. So I bumped the bum bar quite a bit here, make some noise, let him know that it's there, and just check that he doesn't get panicky about that noise. And let him eat more feed. I ask him back a little bit sometimes, just to let him know that the bum bar is there and that he can go forward again. And he doesn't have to panic about it and start pushing like hell. So that's all about time, practice, repeating, and making it to where the horse feels courageous, compliant to go in, and calm about the asking in and the asking off. So again, we'll just put the ramp back up. A lot of repeating, repeat, 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 until it, for the beautiful thing about horses is they can get used to almost anything if they're allowed the time, and if the repeating happens, and if it's a good outcome each time, then they can get fully used to virtually anything. So that's the beauty of our horses, and as long as we take the time and we have the feel and we have the empathy for them, they can get through it for sure. So if you like this, episode number 5 is coming up, so stay tuned.